Let's see, let's see. Okay, we should be live. Perfect. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to our live trading room here with Lachlan. I'm not going to take too much of our time. We're like a few seconds behind, but I just wanted to come here, say hi as usual. Welcome you all from Twitter, Facebook, YouTube streaming. And guys, just FYI, if you want to join the chats to these webinars and be part of the discussion, you can sign up to the webinars through our website. I'll make sure to attach the link below at the end of this webinar so you can join us next time. And I'll let Lachlan I'll let him get started. Have fun. There's a lot for you to learn and enjoy this session. And I'll join towards the end and maybe we'll make some announcements. Maybe we'll just like give you some hints about very, very exciting things that are happening. So Lachlan, please, the stage is yours.
Perfect. So hi guys and girls, Lockie here. Hope you are absolutely magic. Let me grab the slides. Let me grab the slides for you. I'll just bring this online. We've got just here. Okay. So guys and girls, I hope you are magic. Can I get a quick confirmation that you can see what I can see? I trust you can. I trust you can. So we're off to a good start, which is fantastic. So hello everybody. Hope you're brilliant. So I'm just moving some stuff around on a backup screen here. Yeah, we love bears and bulls. Mate, we love bears and bulls. The flip side being, mate, we're probably going to update bears and bulls to be something a little bit more exciting. Something a little bit more exciting. Probably a little bit like my virtual background here. So that's what we're going to be doing. So the flip side of that is I'll just grab the participants. Let me grab the participants for you. I'm going to switch on a microphone in the background here as a backup trader to make sure that we are good to go. Guys,
Hi, mate. How are you? Hi, everyone.
I'm very good. I'm very, very good. Now, for those that haven't been to the webinar before, if you're watching online, there are a number of backup moderators in the background. It's all designed to make sure that we have the best trading experience we possibly can. So welcome. Guys, welcome. My name is Lockie. I'm going to be guiding you through the session today. I'm going to have to run through some charts and some slides. Guys, we'll do the slides first and then we'll go into charts. This is the LTR preparation, sort of the format that we have to follow. Guys, the reason being is we've got people signing in. We've got people signing in from both European jurisdictions, UK jurisdictions, and Australian and Singapore jurisdictions. So what we're doing is we're making sure, guys, that we've ticked all of what we call the CCN or Customer Caution Notice requirements when we go through this process. So now in saying that, ladies and gents, we're really, really quite big on compliance. Compliance is a big thing. So let me run through this for you. We're certainly proud of our compliance, there's no doubt. So many of you will be trading futures today. Some of you will be trading Forex. Dare I say Forex? I just said the F word. I meant CFDs. I don't know if anyone is going to be trading Forex today, guys. If you are, that's good. That's good. But today we're going to be trading futures and CFDs. Now, the reason I say that, guys, there's going to be risk when we take the trade. There's actually two risks of trading. There's a risk of making money and losing money every time we take a trade. So what you will find today, guys, are going to focus very, very heavily on risk control. We're going to focus on controlling our risk early, and we're going to let our profits run. So you might hear me talk about a risk control point. That's what I do every day when we're in the live trading room, is I will suggest a point at which in time you want to control your risk. As if you end up in a great little trade, guys, I'll tell you where to put your early target. I'll tell you where to put your risk control point, and we can roll further from there. Now, on that, ladies and gents, I'm going to suggest for the futures traders and CFD traders in particular, you guys are going to be trading on margin today. What does that mean? We borrow a little bit of money every time we take a trade. What does that mean? We've got the ability of making money quite quickly, but we've also got the ability of losing money quite quickly. So therefore, we've got to be 100% aware, guys, 100% aware of our risk and our reward, and guys, what we're going to be going for target-wise. Now, the markets are, as I look at them now, guys, we're quite volatile. The US markets are in absolutely stunning 4-hour longs. So today we're going to be looking for long-range buys, guys, short-range sells, unless we get to a tipping point in the market, and then we're going to switch to long-range sells and see if we can pick up some big trades. Now, guys and girls, everything we're going to be doing today is general information only. And a really important point is we used to be able to talk about past performance as an indicator of future performance. Now we're not allowed to do that. Why is that, guys and girls? At the end of the day, Australia was actually the first people to change the legislation saying you can't look at what you did last year and use it as a reflection of this year, because ultimately the volatility in the global market has changed. Okay, so we were allowed to do that many moons ago, but we're not allowed to anymore. Now, guys, the presentation today is going to be for educational purposes only. Now, ultimately, guys, this slide is about market risk factors. So market risk factors, not only are we going to be doing the presentation today for education only, but there are risk factors in the market, guys. The primary risk factor is we're all based on the internet. So I trust we've probably got people, guys, in the webinar today. We've got Australia, we've got Singapore in, we've got Japan in, there's clearly Europe in. As we're going to be running on different internet connections around the world. So I'm going to be giving you the entry price and the exit price and similar things. Simply, this slide talks about there's no guarantee you'll be able to enter or exit the trade at the same price I give you. Guys, basically fueled by market risk factors that we don't have any control of. So I'm going to give you as much warning as I possibly can. And we ultimately build from there. Now, my history very quickly. Guys, I'm the CTO and lead trader. I think the most important point, guys, if I can raise with everybody, I do come from a military background. So I spent 5 years in the military cadets and then 15 years in the regular army. Guys, did multiple tours overseas. I have got multiple decorations, guys, and I still hold my rank. So if I was to go to the army, I'm actually a sir. But today, don't have to call me sir, guys. You just call me Lockie. I think the most important thing, guys, is I'm a father of 3. So I've got 3 little kids. And they're absolutely brilliant. Husband to Akito, passionate educator. I'm an adrenaline sport enthusiast. As I was talking to Akito about this only a couple of days ago, as we started traveling around the world, literally traveling around the world in December 2019, before COVID was invented, and we're effectively still traveling. So right now we're based in Japan and Singapore. Guys, we're having a really, really good time traveling. So for anybody out there in the world that says, Lockie, I'd love to do, some pretty serious traveling, as we're doing exactly that. And may I suggest we're using day trading, guys, as the fuel for that. And it's really, really kind of good fun. Now, guys, a quick revision of what we're going to be doing today, if I can. We're going to be basically using the foundation trading rules and strategies in the live trading room. Now, there are up to 10 signals, guys, that we're going to be trading today. Now, ultimately, we're going to be using CSA, or what's called candlestick analysis, to define who is in charge of the market and ultimately how we're going to take advantage of it. We're going to apply, guys, the delta, guys, or the rule of 3. Now, at the moment, ladies and gents, I'm currently running the 2025 Samurai test indicators, right? The 2025 test indicators. They're going really, really well. So for all of you that are part of Samurai already, guys, when we come into the screen, guys, we are going to be running, guys, the 2025 indicators, which are literally in their last phase of testing, which is really exciting. Guys, my focus today, primarily because we're going out to the world, I'm going to focus very, very heavily on efficiency trading, guys, loss of efficiency, and all the way down the bottom there, we're going to do ratios, static versus dynamic entry, and we're going to clearly focus on what we call the ABC and the step in the market. Now, when we log into the live trading room, guys, we're going to follow our normal mantra, which is we're going to let the market do the heavy lifting. For those people that are not used to what we do, guys, that simply means that we're going to let the market generate the signal for us, and then we're going to get on the job of trading the signal. The target we use will be defined by the market. Guys, the stop we use is defined by the market, and our risk control point is also, dare I say it, defined by the market. Now, when we log in, guys, we're going to see 4 charts. We're going to have the NASDAQ top left-hand corner. Bottom left-hand corner is the S&P 500. We're then going to have the FDAX in the top right corner and the FESX in the bottom right. Now, just to remind everybody, Rob, how are you? Just to remind everybody, the FESX is a reference chart. So we use that to understand what the bigger traders, guys, in Europe are doing. The FESX, just so everyone's aware, is the largest market in the world being traded at this time. So it's a really, really good little reference point. Mind you, guys, it doesn't stay as the largest market for very long. It's normally around about 90 minutes to 2 hours. It's like the big boy and girl around the world. And then very, very quickly, the S&P 500 takes over. Milan, how are you? So, guys, the NASDAQ is suited for those people that love a fast-moving market, or those people that want to start with a really, really small trading account, guys, very tight risk control, and try and let your profits run. Because that would be those people that are trading NASDAQ. S&P 500 is a very slow-moving market, but it's suitable to a very, very large number of contracts. And we do have a number of traders today, guys and girls, that will be sitting around about the 30 contract mark up to the 60 or 70 contract mark. Okay, so there's some pretty big traders in the LTR. Guys, FDAX, dare I say it, the FDAX is the precision market of the European Open. It's probably the easiest market we're going to be trading. Guys, what scares a couple of people away from the FTAX is the tick value. So it's actually quite a high value market. But if it's traded very, very carefully, it can also be a very, very profitable market. So last time we ran this session, guys, we actually ended up with 5 winning trades in a row on the FTAX. Now, my focus, guys, on the FTAX will typically be in the first 35 to 40 minutes of the session. It's just a warning order. We don't trade the FTAX in the last 15 minutes of the hour, guys, unless we get what we refer to as a pivot-based reversal. Okay, now we've been through that. So, guys, what to expect in the session today, if I may guide you through this slide. So first things first, guys, we will be going for profit first and education second. As the reason being that there are quite a few traders in the LTR today. Some of the traders have actually been with me for around about 12 years. So they are expecting, guys, to trade as well as they possibly can and make as much money as they possibly can out of the trading room. So what I'm going to be doing, guys and girls, I'll focus on, in this trading room in particular, we'll focus on profit first, education second. So probably the first 35 to 40 minutes of the session, it will always be about making money. As the last 15 minutes of the hour is a really, really good opportunity to ask questions. Now, please be advised, ladies and gents, we do run 2 live trading rooms. We've got the European Open and also the US Close. The US Close is going very, very well for the US Close traders. So congratulations to the samurais that are already in the US Close. It's going really, really well. Now, guys, today we're going to be focusing on a plus 90% strike rate. So I won't actually identify a trade for you that has less than a plus 90% strike rate. As the reason being is one of the fastest ways to build a great psychology around trading is to be making money, and that means taking winning trades. It also means, ladies and gents, I don't want to be the fun police, but if you have made your daily goal, so your daily goal might be $100 US, $200, 500, 1,000 US dollars, whatever it is, I'm going to be reminding you throughout the trading session that if you've hit your daily trading goal, it's time to stop, take the money, run away, come back tomorrow and do exactly the same thing. Now, guys, every day I put a video on YouTube. That's at the Samurai Day Trading channel. That channel's being built at the moment. Guys, it's looking really, really good. You're looking for the best trade of the day. Well, some of those videos have only been up for 2 or 3 days and they've got almost 400 views. So there's quite a few people, guys, that are following Lockie, guys, and that's really, really exciting. So if you don't know about YouTube, just jump on Samurai Day Trading, guys, and you'll be able to find me. Guys, and I'm doing shorts on a daily basis for the best trades, and there's some great little lessons for you to learn from that. Now, guys, personal considerations, if I may. I'm going to do my absolute best to identify as many trades as possible. If you're brand new to trading, please just watch and listen, guys, if you're brand new to trading. If you know what you're doing, absolutely brilliant. Guys, please take every trade I call and more. Guys, if you agree with what I'm doing, absolutely brilliant. Today is for education. Guys, like the live trading is always there for education first. In terms of, okay, we can't provide you personal advice. We can only provide you general advice. As I'm going to try and maximize the profit on every single trade. So we're going to try and engineer the risk to reward ratio to be massively in our favor. As a contrary to sort of popular teaching out there, guys, a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio is not the foundation to trading success. As what we want to do is we want to engineer the risk to reward on the run, which I'm going to be showing you how to do today. Please note, guys, that if a trade does require greater risk than your predefined risk profile, please do not take the trade. Please don't let me romance you into any trades you wouldn't take. Guys, and naturally, if you're a futures trader, you can drop down to the micro contract, guys, from the mini contract if you feel that a trade is amazing, but it's carrying too much risk. So, guys, we're going to jump into the live trading room. We'll jump into the live trading room. Now, to do that, let me push the exit button here. Okay, that should work like an absolute charm. We're perfectly on time, guys, which is really good fun. Look at this little NASDAQ run. Okay, so for those of you that may not have been in the session before, again, bottom left-hand corner is the S&P 500. Okay, bottom corner is the S&P 500. I'm going to have to start stripping Fibonacci's already. Okay, both of these US markets, guys, both of the US markets are in very, very strong 60-minute longs, right? So some of the more experienced traders, as you may have gone long for the closing hour of Singapore. Now, for those of you that are not familiar, guys, you can see my little chart here. It actually says Asian close. So this is the close of Singapore, and basically the close of Singapore, they decided to rally, and it's running really, really, really hard. Okay, so therefore, if you're into the markets before the live trading room, guys, the Asian close can quite often trend pretty hard. Now, What we do have, guys and girls, what we do have is, I believe we're in the midst of a 60-minute move and a 4-hour move on both of the US-based markets. All right, now volatility, guys, volatility is lifting really, really quickly. So normally in this trading session, guys, got a volatility of around 40 to 50. Okay, at the moment, guys, our volatility indicator currently sitting at 105. So there's a lot of volatility in the market today. Now, ultimately, guys, that means there's a potential for a really big profit, which is really exciting. The flip side of that, guys, we've got to watch our risk. Okay, we've got to watch the risk that we're carrying. Now, the US markets, guys, as I got ready for the brief this afternoon, the US markets were basically on the verge of triggering some very strong 4-hour longs. Those 4-hour longs have been triggered on both American markets. All right, so we are running on the US markets pretty heavily to the high side. And so what does it mean? As I said, right as we got into the session today, it looks like the buying trades are going to go a long way. The selling trades, as we're going to have to be careful of the risk, and ideally the preference will be to sell off major Fibonacci, or as we'll be selling off pivots. Pivots primarily will be the major fuel. Now, guys, let me do a quick sweep of the microphone. So, George, your microphone is on. Where's young Damsey? I did see you a moment ago. So Damsey's with us. So Damsey, well done. How are you? Hope you're brilliant. As I just do a quick sweep of the microphones just to make sure my backup mods are in place, because they do an incredible job. Tim, I'm going to bring you in, so man, if you see anything, that would be amazing. All right, guys, and we'll keep going. So next step, guys, next step in the process. As for the FDAX traders, again, if you're brand new to this session, guys and girls, the FDAX loves the 50 fib on the 4-hour chart. Okay, so that is that Fibonacci running across the chart over here. I would not be surprised at all, as with the buying momentum that is really, really sort of running the US markets this afternoon. I wouldn't be surprised if that buying momentum runs out of steam. I think it's going to run out of steam eventually. We are going to pick up a really, really lovely static bar reversal or 4-point turning bar short on the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. It would be amazing, guys, if they were at the same time, and it would be amazing if the S&P 500 blows all of its volume and then comes back and closes under yesterday's high. If it does that, guys, we're looking for some pretty heavy shorts. Now, for the European-based traders, guys, you've got two really, really obvious sell points on the market today. Now, again, what we would need to do is move beyond those sell points, guys. So that will be in the cash market, which starts in 10 minutes' time. We want to move beyond those sell points inside the cash market, make sure the institutional traders agree with what we're doing, and then we're going to sell it down. Really, really hard. Remy, you've taken a climactic reversal on the NASDAQ for 50 ticks. Okay, well done. 50 ticks times $5. 50 ticks, sorry, times 5 contracts times $5. That's a very big trade. Now, guys, on the downside of the FDAX, guys, I do note, if I double check, the buy points, guys, the buy points on the FDAX are all the way down the bottom of the chart. So effectively, the FDAX is buying into a series of selling points, but again, they're a long way from their buy points, right? So how do we get direction, guys, on the FDAX? So how do we know what these guys are going to be doing? As we come down to the bottom chart is probably the most important. I can now get rid of that Fibonacci because we've actually traded beyond it, which is brilliant. So, guys, the European markets, and something that we do have to be aware of, guys, the European markets may trigger 4-hour longs, and that's probably the number one thing we need to be careful of, guys, as FDAX traders and obviously American-based traders coming into the European Open. As for those on the NASDAQ, guys, I'm just watching this price movement at the moment. I'm going to draw a Fibonacci down to catch them on the way up, because I would suggest if they have blown all of their volume, guys, this mustard green candle clearly says they've blown all their buying volume. If they've blown that, you guys are looking for really, really amazing reversals. Guys, really good shorts coming into the European Open. Okay, no doubt about that. In fact, the FESX, guys, look at this. The FESX, to complement that, has just set up a static bar reversal short off its R1. So I'd suggest, guys and girls, we're probably going to go up first turnaround, come back down. And again, if this buying momentum, guys, cannot be sustained on the American markets, then we're going to be hitting short, and that will be quite good fun. Now, S&P volume, guys, S&P volume was 45,000. We've literally just sailed through 52,000. So the actual volatility and volume in the market is lifting quite quickly, right in time for European Open, which is great. Please watch, guys. The high impact news for the US-based traders is at 9:30 p.m. Tokyo tonight. For the European-based traders, it's at 9:15 tonight. So there is no news. There is no news we need to worry about at this point in time. Now, FESX, guys, coming down to our reference chart. The FESX, we've got what we refer to as a pop point. There's a pop point in the market. What does that mean? There's a heap of trading charts that have been sitting there channeling for a long time. If we buy, guys, if we buy above that pop point, was inside the cash market, so starting in around about 8 minutes from now, if we buy and hold above that, we could see a bit of a rally on Europe. If we can't hold above this line, if we can't hold above this line on the FESX, as these guys are going to tank, right? There's a lot of energy in the market today. As again, when I started my preparation this afternoon, guys, the volume was 35,000 on S&P. Now it's 52,000. I'll give you an idea of how aggressively people are coming into the market. Now, larger chart analysis, guys, which always proves to be really exciting. I've already been here and got this ready for you. Okay, so what have we got? Guys, what have we got? Now, this is your FESX daily chart. We spoke about this short, guys, this short earlier in the week, guys. So that short there is obviously absolutely thundered to the downside. We've actually set up, guys, with this tiny little candle. This is yesterday's trading. We've set up a really, really lovely, guys, a really, really lovely long. I know with interest that the buyers are trying to trigger the long already, and that long trigger is failing. So if the buyers on the FESX daily chart can't get above and hold above the top of this candle, this could end up being a daily swing trigger short, which is a very powerful signal. Now, the flip side of the swing trigger short, hence the reason I've got this box and the orange, guys, the little orange Fibonacci on for you. That orange fib, guys, is the 23 fib off the monthly chart. Last time these guys sold down, they tagged the 23 fib. Okay, really aggressive. Those people that are short on the NASDAQ, I know there's some of you that are short off that 61.8 Fibonacci. As if you are short off the 61.8 fib or the 50 fib, as you can look for at least 50 tick targets, please. All right. So if you do trade the pre-market, which some of you do, as you are short off that 61.8 Fibonacci, the moment they created the higher high, you could have shorted underneath that and sold it down. If that suits your trading plan, absolutely brilliant. If the S&P comes and closes under yesterday's high, either on this candle or on the next candle, that NASDAQ short is going to produce a huge dividend. Okay, very, very big dividend. Okay. And in fact, that is also a brand new valid NASDAQ short, guys, that's setting up right into European Open. Okay, so depending on how you trade, guys, these guys are really cranky and they really want to go short. So some of you might be already trading. That's a great question. So the gap, guys, the gap is yesterday's close. Now on the European markets, guys, we've already closed the gap. Right, we've already closed the gap. What does that ultimately mean? That we're in for a big move. Guys, we're in for a big move on the European markets today. Typically, if we don't close the gap, guys, if we don't close the gap until the cash market, it's a little bit quiet today. I think it's going to be pretty cranky. Now back to the daily chart, guys. We've got 4 minutes to go. Just a quick one, guys and girls. If you're short on the NASDAQ, I can't not watch what this is doing. So if you are short on the NASDAQ, I want you to use a Fibonacci extension for your risk control point. Some of you will be short already. Your risk control point is on the trade. If you're going for bigger targets, your risk control point is the 100 extension. So the NASDAQ traders are on the 100 extension already. So that means you would be controlling your risk on the long range shorts, please. If you are short on NASDAQ, you're already 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, already 70 ticks into profit. The NASDAQ is highly likely to come down to that 133 fib extension just there and bounce. Guys, note the S&P is now selling under yesterday's high. This is exactly what we would expecting them to do. Okay, exactly what we want them to do. Now, back to the FESX. Guys, we come down to the 4-hour chart. This is the one we've got to be very, very careful of. Guys, the reason being is we've got multiple reversal points. So effectively, guys, long story short, if they can hold above 41, Okay, let me just mark it. I've got it marked for you there. That's the pop point. If the FESX holds above that pop point right there, we know that the market, as we know that the market is going to rally to the high side. Okay, we know that. Now, the flip side of that, okay, if we don't hold above that, the FESX is going to run. So we're looking at long range trades to the downside, right? Long range trades. Now, as we cruise down, as we know about the 240-minute chart, 60-minute chart, again, multiple reversals long, guys and girls. If these, look at this. If these sellers, guys, on the US markets and the European markets can't grab control, it's going to fly back the other way. Right now, I know a number of you are probably short underneath that one rated selling candle there. A number of you are probably short. If you are short, guys, it's gone to your risk control point if you're a Fibonacci risk person. Okay, so it's already gone as far as it needs to go to lock in some pretty heavy profit. Keith, you got 11, 21, and 15. Well done, mate. Sellers own the step. They do own the step. So you guys are looking for buying base reversals, Dan, off the primarily off the R1. Now, as I move down through the charts, guys, the 15-minute chart, which we do have to be super, super, super aware of, they're setting up 15-minute chart shorts. So for the FDAX traders, you guys are going to be looking at this pre-market static bar reversal short. I will guide you, guys, through that as required. All right, I'll guide you through that as required. Let's look for our famous Fibonacci extension, guys. We use the same extension every day. Okay, so we're looking for failure at the 133 fib extension. Happens to coincide perfectly with the sell point. So if we do get a bit of a rally, guys, on the FDAX, I'll guide you into these trades. Ideally, we would be looking, guys, to be shorting the FDAX. If we get well above 37, we're looking to short it at 37. Okay, back down to the 5-minute chart with 56 seconds to go until the gun goes. It's going to be pretty fast today, guys and girls. It's going to be pretty fast. So please make sure, guys, you've got the right accounts connected. If you're trading live, you're trading live. If you're in Sim Brilliant, if you're copy trading, guys, please make sure your copy trading software is loaded. Make sure it's loaded onto the correct accounts. Make sure all of your homework is done. As we are volatile on the NASDAQ today, so you'd be looking for higher volatility ATMs, please. So higher volatility ATMs. You might be, guys, looking at controlling your risk around 16 to 20 ticks into the trade. So we're going to try and let the profit run on every trade. And what we're going to do is we're going to control our risk quickly. Now, my focus will be, guys, initially on the FDAX. For the NASDAQ traders, you are clearly picking up, guys, an R1 style reversal. If you do get buying deltas, guys, after they sell down a little bit, if you do get buying deltas, guys, on your charts, guys, then the deltas would be brilliant to the high side. Now, okay, focusing on the FDAX, let's focus on the FDAX and see what we've got. So at the moment, at this stage, ladies and gents, the buyers still own the stair step. It means we're looking for selling base reversals. We are looking for this candle here to go climactic and change color. Shelton, well done. Remy, you got 100 times 5. That's a huge trade, mate. So well done. It's just incredible trade. So well done, well done, well done. For the DAX traders, we may have a pre-top reversal setting up. We have not yet gone climactic on this candle. Okay, so we haven't gone climactic just yet. I do note the FESX is already gone. Guys, already gone to the 50 fib of the day. Now, again, for those people that may not be in this session on a daily basis, the FESX is famous for going to the 50 fib once the cash market starts. Mate, this is the 20. So, Dave, great question. They are turned on. This is the 2025 version of indicators, and they're the last two indicators we're bringing across as the Delta V1 and V2. So we've got everything today but the V1, V2. So I've got Akito's deltas running in the background, and naturally you've got deltas running on your screen as well if you have those indicators. Now, guys, for the FDAX traders, your candle has turned to mustard. Nice. So that means ultimately you're looking at climactic volume. So again, guys, I'm looking in a perfect world for the buyers to spike through the pre-top. Okay, so the buyers to spike through the pre-top. If we spike through the pre-top, okay, we're looking for, now we need to go well beyond the pre-top. Ideally, I'd love to get up here around that 133 fib extension. Let me just check the daily chart for you. Okay, yesterday's high, guys, yesterday's high on the FDAX, yesterday's high is a daily swing trigger long. All right, so what we're going to have to be aware of, is that I think the market is about to turn and climb. Now, if we get up to yesterday's high for the FDAX traders, it is a daily swing trigger long. There's no question about that. If they try and push through that and fail, guys, we're going to be picking up the long range shorts that we spoke about earlier. Whereas if you're running the delta indicator on your charts, any buying delta on this current NASDAQ indicator, NASDAQ candle as we cruise up, all of those deltas are valid. All right, so the sellers own the stair step. The sellers have lost control of the R1. If you are picking up buying deltas, guys, I'm more than happy for you to take those buying deltas for the first probably 40 to 50 ticks of this particular candle. Okay, this is our, guys, so this is our little FDAX. Just be really, really careful with this one. Okay, we're cruising towards the last 90 seconds of the candle. So for those people that don't normally do what we do, all right, we're looking for the buyers to push effectively to 40 so we can sell very safely. As in a perfect world, as the figures we were talking about before is selling at 38. Okay, now, again, what I'd want, guys and girls, there you can put a backup sell. You can put a backup sell at 27. So a backup sell on the FDAX at 27. If you are going to go short, ladies and gents, at 27, your first target is 22. Just be aware that we are into the last 90 seconds of the candle. The FESX looks like a very strong reversal, as in short. So if you're short at 27, guys, on FDAX, your first target is 22. I'd suggest you're going to get paid really quickly on this one. You're at 22s already. So for those of you that have gone short under the pre-market top on FDAX at 27, your first target is 22. Your risk control point is 22, and you've gone through 22. I'd suggest you go through it again very, very shortly. Boom, there you go. So for anybody that's short on the FDAX, guys, under the pre-top at 28 or 27, your target is 22, and you've gone quite happily through that target already. Okay, now, for the NASDAQ, let's wait for this candle to close. We'll wait for the candle to close. Let me get rid of that Fibonacci. We've already used that. Wow, great results, guys. Well done. Well done. Now, for the FDAX traders who don't trade the opening candle, guys, the moment the opening candle pushes up well beyond the pre-top, guys, you'll be looking for a 28 entry, 23 target. You've got to push well up before that. Guys, if you were lucky enough, guys, to be sitting 2 points underneath yesterday's high at 38 and you've gone short, that's also gone well as well. Nice, that's gone well as well. Okay, good. Lots of FDAX. Yeah, no, lots of FDAX trades coming in. So well done, everybody. That's brilliant. Now, again, guys, NASDAQ. If you trade a double failure reversal long off the R1, you need the sellers to sell down well below the R1. And now you would be putting your order, guys, up to 4 ticks over the top of the R1. Now, this is only for those people, guys, that take reversals off pivots. The key point, guys, with the reversal, please control your risk quickly. All right, so I'm going to put a risk control point on the chart for you. Guys, there's a risk control point coming on. Guys, again, at the moment, the sellers are not burning volume yet on NASDAQ. Okay, they're not burning volume yet. So the buyers are not really ferocious about what they're up to. Guys, again, just understand volatility on the NASDAQ, guys, is around 85 at the moment. So therefore, I would suggest tight risk control. Tight risk control. Again, if we get a big run in our favor, it's brilliant, but we don't want to get slapped in the face. All right, so I'm just going to add some Fibonacci. Wow, Fibonacci is enormous on this chart today. Now, the flip side, guys, the flip side of that is we obviously had an opportunity to reverse off the R1 in the pre-market. Just be aware the sellers are not burning their volume yet. So there's still a bit of selling momentum in the market. This is the third buyer push. I do want the buyers to push. There you go, guys. We've pushed through the black line. That is your risk control point. Guys, so that's well beyond 10 ticks, guys, well beyond 10 ticks. So we've got to be very, very, very tight on risk control, guys, until we know what direction the NASDAQ is heading in. FDAX traders, you've picked up your higher high, yesterday's high reversal, guys, at 38. Now, if you are short at 38, please, your risk control point is 33. Okay, so if you're short on the FDAX, your risk control point is 33. You are 1 point off the risk control. Where's your 1 point off the risk control? Give it about 6 or 8 seconds. Now you're through your first target. Risk control triggered on FDAX, guys, if you can. Okay, now, Remy, well done. At this stage, guys and girls, the sellers are still not burning their volume. Guys, they're still not burning their volume on NASDAQ. Once we get the volume, the volume burn coming through, guys, you might find that R1 reversal takes off. Okay, now, if you've already gone long once off the R1, guys, it's gone through its risk control point. If you're going to go long again off the R1, guys, you're slowly but surely winding in your risk control point. Okay, so an ATM today, guys, of touch 10 is, I think, really, really responsible in a volatile market. You can go looser than that if you want to. I'm just bringing that risk control point down a little bit for you. FDAX traders, that is a second tier reversal. So for those of you with some experience, guys, you would be looking to potentially take another pre-top reversal now, guys, and you'd want to try and hold that for longer range targets. Okay. So FDAX traders, you're short off yesterday's high. That's gone very well. You may be short back off the pre-top again. That's also gone well. For the FDAX traders, please make sure you're using a 5-point risk control point, and ultimately trying to let your trades run as long as you can. Okay, 40 seconds to go on this candle. As we don't want the NASDAQ closing below the R1. Okay, we don't want the NASDAQ closing below the R1 for those people that are long over the top of the R1. Now, please, 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 please have a tight risk control point on this one. Okay, that's what I'm wanting. They're coming back through. They're sniffing a risk control point now. So, guys, you're back through a very shallow risk control point again. Guys, now, again, some of you like going for longer range targets. Guys, we've just got to be aware that as we reverse off the R1 for the second time, that the S&P 500 might close under yesterday's high. All right, so that's what's just occurred. That means that the buyers on the NASDAQ are going to start to doubt themselves. So if you're long off the R1, guys, if you're long off the R1, right, promise me at this point in time, your stop loss is positive. Okay, promise me it's positive, please. FDAX traders, again, if you got a higher high over the top of yesterday's high, if you did get a higher high over the top of yesterday's high, absolutely brilliant. Guys, for the FDAX traders, you can draw, let me get rid of that line. You can draw a Fibonacci down your turning candle, right, down your turning candle. If you guys get a push up to a key Fibonacci, whoops, if you get a Fibonacci, guys, pushing up to a key level like the 50%, you may consider the pre-box reversal again. This will be the third reversal, guys, off the same level. We don't really want to reverse more than 3 times off the same level. Right now, if you are going to take, guys, if you are going to take the trade, okay, on FDAX, you need the buyers to push up. You need them to push up, fail at Fibonacci, and then you need the sellers to slam them. Now, again, for the FDAX traders, it's a 28 for 23 plays. Okay, so you FDAX traders, you're off to a shotgun start. If you wait for a higher high on FDAX, you don't have it yet. Okay, now, NASDAQ traders, NQ plus 20. Well done, Rob. Nice trade. For the NASDAQ traders, who have gone long over the top of the R1, right? So originally we gave you a 16-tick risk control point. Guys, now I've given you a 10-tick risk control point. If you are long on the NASDAQ, guys, a 20-tick target and a 40-tick target is well inside the volatility of the market over here. It's well inside volatility. If these guys do run, All right, if these guys do run, they're going to run into a smaller Fibonacci. Okay, look at this just here. They're going to run into a smaller Fibonacci. So your risk control point for those that are long, if you're going for longer range targets, is the 50 fib of the micro trend, which they've just run into. Okay, so if you are long off the R1, guys, it's a 10, 20, 30. It's gone around 40. So if you're looking at adjusting your ATM today, a 20 and 40 or a 20 and 50 on the NASDAQ is a really, really good way to pull it apart. All right, now, FDAX. For those that are looking for a higher high, okay, you guys are, let me just double check. We've got our retracement, guys, to key Fibonacci, and then the buyers have not rejected off those retracements. We have got a higher high. Right, so we are setting up a reversal off yesterday's high on the FDAX. As ideally at 38. As we've got 33 seconds to get picked up on that trade. We don't want to get picked up in the last 90 seconds of the candle. Okay, so guys, I'm happy for you to put a sell order on now under yesterday's high at 638. The flip side of 638 is if we get to the last 90 seconds, we're not looking for the yesterday's high reversal, as we're now looking for an R1 reversal. All right, so you note I draw the Fibonacci down to catch them on the way up. Notice the Fibonacci basically just sat there, didn't catch anybody, and now they've gone through to the R1. So what does it mean for FDAX? As if you are an aggressive FDAX trader, you're looking for them to push through the R1 and you're looking to sell under the R1. For the junior FDAX traders, you're waiting for the candle to close because you're in the last 90 seconds. Now, this could be a little bit annoying for the junior traders because these buyers may turn, guys, the buyers may turn. I note we're not burning volume on the buying side of the house yet. So if they do turn, it's not going to be very aggressive. Ash, nothing on the S&P at this stage until we get a 4-point turning bar or we get a higher high that then comes down and closes under yesterday's high. The moment we have that, then we have a valid short. All right, so absolutely great question. Oof, okay, here comes the NASDAQ. So for those of you that have gone long on the NASDAQ off the R1, guys, we're not going to go long again in the last 30 seconds of the candle. If you've gone long off the R1, guys, even if you waited for fairly late in the candle until they blew their volume and then you went long, guys, it's gone more than 40 ticks to the high side. That ultimately means that again, everybody's controlled their risk and they're done. Now, Akito is over her daily goal, guys and girls. So I'm just going to declare to everyone, Akito's not taking any more trades. Is Akito, my love? No more trades. All right, for those on the NASDAQ, that is a fee cap, first efficient candle after a return in the market, guys. If the green team shows and the red team hammers down, guys, particularly if you're running a delta on your chart, a delta outside the range of this candle is likely to sell down really nicely. Ash, on the S&P 500, mate, you've got a static bar reversal short. So what you're looking for, mate, is you're looking for the buying team to push up and get absolutely slammed. Okay, absolutely slammed. Now, for the NASDAQ traders, we can't go long. We can only go short. Okay, so we can't go long. We can only go short. For the FDAX traders, as you are above yesterday's high, which means for the FDAX traders, we're now in a daily swing trigger long. As what that means is your reversals must be off pivots. And in a perfect world, you're looking for a push through and a higher high. If we can't hold over the top of yesterday's high, guys, on the FDAX on this candle, then we're going to be selling down under yesterday's high. We're looking for static bar reversals short. Now, NASDAQ traders, if you are going to trade short, guys, under the fee cap, if you're going to trade short under the fee cap, what we're going to be doing is drawing a Fibonacci down. Okay, now note, guys, we're going short outside the range of the candle. For those that are not used to what we do, you'd be looking for a sell at 12.25, so 12.25. Now we are selling back down. We are selling back down to the 50 fib of what would appear to be, guys, the micro trend. So we've had a huge uptrend. Again, guys, if this retracement moves much beyond the 76 fib of this candle, so if the retracement, draw your Fibonacci down to catch them on the way up. If the retracement goes much beyond the 76 fib, then we would be careful about going short because no one else in the world wants to go short. Dunlop, he sold off the 133 extension. FDAX took 2 opening candle trades. Mate, that's absolutely brilliant. Mate, well done. You've done very, very, very well, Petros. So good on you. Let me just have a look. Good, 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 good. Let me just get some detail off these charts. So for the NASDAQ traders who want to go short, you're looking at, let me just double check your 15-minute charts. I think you're looking at a complementary 15-minute chart SPR short. But guys, you've got a 15-minute chart 4-point turning bar short. So big reversal candles loading on the 15-minute NASDAQ chart. Okay, FDAX, your buyers are definitely running out of steam. So we're looking for long-range shorts, not longs. Guys, long-range shorts on the FDAX, not longs. Now, we can't go long into the R1 anyway, guys. That would be an absolute no-no. So for those of you guys that are looking for another trade on FDAX, we are looking for them to push up beyond the R1, guys, and you'd want to be a little bit careful. So you're looking at probably a 54 or 53 entry short. Okay, so you're looking for 54 or 53. The NASDAQ, guys, the NASDAQ buyers just got absolutely hammered. If you are going short, guys, if you are going short, let me just check your Fibonacci's. Again, you must, guys. All right, tight risk control. Nice tight risk control on the NASI traders if you do want to go short. You've got the 50 fib, guys, the 50 fib of the micro trend at least 20 ticks away. Okay, the shorts have not been filled. The shorts have not been filled yet. You're looking at 12.25. Now you are filled. Guys, now, again, just be aware, please, that for the NASDAQ traders, you're in the last 90 seconds of the candle, okay? Also, you've got your 100% extension here. Your 133 extensions are there. I'm expecting the sellers to completely collapse the buyers, guys. Collapse the buyers at this point, okay? I'm just trying to filter out some trades for you because some of you don't like entering in the last 90 seconds. It looks like the sellers are about to commit on the S&P 500, guys, so they're probably going to commit on the NASDAQ as well. As NASDAQ, just to be aware, the NASDAQ has got a 4-point turning bar short on the 15-minute chart. This Fibonacci is likely to be running all the way down here. Okay, so we've got the potential for a very interesting scenario here on NASI. Okay, so for the NASDAQ traders, guys, who don't enter in the last 90 seconds, right? If you don't enter in the last 90 seconds, which some of you don't, and that's okay, guys, we would be looking, we're stuck under the R1 again. Okay. If you are short on the NASDAQ, guys, some of you may be short on the NASDAQ. Okay, if you are short on the NASDAQ, okay, we must punish that black line, which is the 100% extension, which is your risk control point. We must punish that really early on in the candle. Now, in saying that, the sellers have gapped the market at the start of the candle. Okay, the buyers have pushed back up to the R1, failed at Fibonacci, and come back down again. If those of you may not be short already, guys, you're not going to go short again if you're not short already. Okay, so we're not going short again if you're not short already. For the FDAX traders, you guys have got just high enough to short, but I would prefer they push through, guys. I would like to see them push through the R1 and fail. Now, you guys are going to have to keep an eye on that for me because I'm just going to keep an eye on the American traders. Now, for Ash and the S&P 500 traders, your static bar reversal short, your entry point, mate, is at 59.25, which they have not been able to engage yet, right? So 59.25 would be your entry point. Let me just watch this little Nazi here. Watch this Nazi. Okay, what I'm watching, guys, if you're trying to work out what I'm looking for, FDAX, you've just got the high through the R1. So I know there's going to be some people trading that, guys. I would suggest, guys, be careful. Some of you are already at your daily goals. As if you are going to go short on the FDAX at 54, because you've got a risk control point of 50. Okay, so that's not a 5-point risk control, it's a 4-point risk control. Okay, now, if you want to be really careful, guys, on the DAX, if you want to be really careful, you can wait for a static bar entry. Because again, if the FESX, guys, decides that it's in this 4-hour pop point, if it decides it's going to run, then we've got to be very, very careful about shorting the FDAX against the FESX, because the FESX will ultimately win that battle. At this stage, the buyers on the FESX are pushing into multiple pivots. So as we might see an initial sell down on FDAX, but until we get that static bar reversal, I don't think we're going to see a big FDAX push down. Okay, I don't think we're going to see a big one. We'll probably see a little one. Okay, probably see a little one. Now, NASDAQ traders. Okay, now, at this stage, as what I see on the NASDAQ is the buyers are trying to push the market up. Okay, last time they pushed it up to the 76 fib of the turning candle. We spoke about if they push up to the 76 fib, as it's not a particularly strong sign for the sellers. Now, at the moment, the buyers are pushing to the 61.8 fib, which means the buyers are losing confidence, right? They're losing confidence in what's going on. Now, the buyers on the S&P 500 are also losing confidence. Okay, so what does that ultimately mean, guys? Using a defensive Fibonacci, this candle should end as a very weak buying candle or a relatively good selling candle. Okay, now, great little lesson for those that don't enter in the last 90 seconds of a candle. Guys, you now cannot enter a trade, right? We're just waiting for the perfect setup. We have the, I suppose, the number of signals we get, guys, we can actually be super patient about what we're doing. 60-minute 50% failed. Okay, mate, perfect. All right, so FDAX traders, guys, waiting for the push through the R1. We're very clearly, guys, in the last 90 seconds. All right, so FDAX traders, we're not going to go short under the R1 in the last 45 seconds of the candle. These guys have pushed well beyond the R1. It looks like they're, at this stage, the buyers have got a little bit of control. I think they're going to lose the control towards the end of the candle. So you watch this candle change its personality, guys, in the next 29 seconds. Okay, those people who are short on the NASDAQ, right, I'm predicting that the candle is not going to close as a strong buying candle. It's going to close as a weak buy or a relatively strong sell. So for those who are short, for those of you are short, okay, which I know some of you are, do not lose sight, guys, of that black line. Okay, that black line is the ultimate test for the NASDAQers. I think they're going to smash it. There's the smashing. Where are they going to go, guys and girls? They're going to go to the 133 fib extension as their first port of call. If you're short on the NASDAQ from the fee cap, it has not stopped you out, guys. What it's done is it's just punishing or trying to punish a 30-tick target. So if you are short, guys and girls, it's gone through your risk control point, it's gone through your 20-tick target, and now you've basically got your stop loss come down and locked you off. Okay, Shelton, massive well done. Massive well done. So Shelton, that was a bit of a nail biter for you. Okay, understanding that to be the case. Suffice to say, though, guys and girls, if you enter in the last 90 seconds, you might end up biting your nails off, but that's okay. The signal has still gone where it is required to go, which is back down to that 133 fib extension. So it's still gone where it needs to go, right? FDAX candle changed personality very quickly, guys, in the last 30 seconds, as we suggested it would do. At this stage, as we would be looking for these buyers on the FDAX to get absolutely annihilated, guys, before we're looking for an R1 reversal. Guys, please note your risk control point on the R1, guys, is actually 50, not 49. Okay, even though that candle's just gone to 49, just got to be careful that we're trading back into the 50% on the 4-hour chart. Okay, now, for those that have a delta loaded on their chart, if you're getting deltas on this current candle, guys, they are all valid buying signals. Particularly if you've got a delta, guys, after the market gapped up, after the 133 touch. If it's gapped up and started running, guys, any buying delta on this candle going back the other way is absolutely brilliant. As I literally get my updated buying delta, I get my updated delta tomorrow. Okay, so if you are running As if you're running the current charts, guys, I'm running the 2025 charts. If you're running the end of 2024 charts, you'll have a number of deltas here, guys, and they will be absolutely flying to the high side. Absolutely flying. Now, what are we looking for, guys? What are we looking for? Okay, let's watch. FTX traders, we are 30 minutes in. You're looking for these buyers to get absolutely slammed. All right, so guys, you've got to keep an eye on that one. If we do, guys, if we do get a buying candle, guys, on the FESX, guys, that closes over the R1 and the pre-top, and we get a complementary candle, guys, on the FDAX, then we're looking for longs right across the board. So, Mark, you got an NQ20 Delta. Well done, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, so guys, super excited. For anyone that's with Samurai, I'm running the 2025 indicators right now. They are so fast and they are so brilliant. Your auto step indicators built in. As everything that everybody's asked to is being built in. Which is brilliant. Because even all your delta titles are down here. Oops, wrong button. All your delta titles are down here, guys. It's kind of a really exciting time. A very exciting time. Okay, now KPI on DAX. Dan, you're over your KPI on DAX as well. My beautiful bride is well over her daily KPI. Now she's sitting behind me, so I can't watch her screen easily. Okay, now go. She's in sim. So, guys, it's so important. I know we ran a webinar last night, guys, on KPIs, but the moment you hit your daily KPI, $200 US, 300, 400, 500 US dollars, the moment you hit that KPI, please stop trading. As the reason being is a $500 per day KPI now is a $5,000 per day KPI in 5 to 6 months time, maybe 8 months time, 9 months time. FTX traders, you are now gearing up for a short. Okay, now FTX traders, you've had multiple cracks at this already. For those that are being careful, we're going to wait for this current candle to close. Okay, wait for the current candle to close. And talking about KPIs, guys, Shelton, you smashed your KPI, so getting off 1,000 US dollars. Well done, mate. That's brilliant. Now, the reason I'm so big on KPIs, guys, is that if you were to grab 1,000 traders and put them in the room, and you were to ask the question, what's the number one mistake being made globally? They will tell you, I hit my daily KPI and then I kept trading and gave it all back. All right, so do not be that person, please. Guys, success leaves clues, but failure leaves even more important clues. Okay, now, hugely important, guys. Failure leaves more important clues than success. Okay, now for the NASDAQ traders, that is a very strong reversal bar to the high side. Now, the flip side of the reversal bar is we need to work out your counter Fibonacci's. Okay, so again, if you're a reversal trader, guys, and you're looking for red before green, guys, let me just do your fibs for you. The tightest Fibonacci is going to look like this. Guys, now that ultimately means that's a very tight Fibonacci. Those 76 fibs, guys, those 76 fibs effectively give us a risk control point. So if you can hold the risk on the NASDAQ, guys, if you can hold the risk on the NASDAQ, it's a very strong reversal bar. It is not complemented by the S&P 500. So if you are long, guys, on the NASDAQ, now some of you love really strong reversal bars. Guys, again, you've gone at least 12 to 14 ticks towards your profit target. So you would need to make sure, guys and girls, that you're cutting your risk off. Your first target would need to be underneath those 76 ticks, around about, say, 12 to 14 ticks. Bring your stop loss to positive so you can't lose any money. Guys, if the NASDAQ decides to run, then you're going to go for the larger 76. All right, so at this stage, NASDAQ traders, now you can manage the trade as you want to. I would suggest this one's going to be smarter. Okay, so for the NASI traders who can go long, you've gone long, you're already through your 20 tick target. That's actually gone 40 ticks to the high side. If we push to this level on the NASDAQ and we can't go long, guys, we're setting up shorts. Okay, we're setting up sells everywhere. FDAX, you're looking for a higher high. As I'd suggest at this point in time, guys, the FPSX is going to close over the top of its pre-top in the R1. If that does occur, guys, then the next reversal for the FDAX, guys, is the R2. Oh, look at these sellers coming in on NASDAQ. Okay, and the key point, guys, if we can't get up there, we're looking at long-range reversals. There's no question. Okay, so some NASDAQ traders have gone long. Guys, if you've gone long 2 ticks over the top of the candle, it's touched 40 ticks worth of profit. Right? That means that everyone has gone through their first target. Everyone has controlled their risk. Can't lose any money on the NASDAQ. If they push anywhere near these 76 fibs, guys, the 76 fib reversal traders would be looking for a trade, as in short. If the NASDAQ pushes back over the 50 fib of the 4-hour chart again, guys, tags the 76s, you may be looking for a short under those 50 fibs. All right, so there's going to be a myriad of different results today. Louis, you got plus 19 times 5 on the S&P 500. Right, big trade, well done. Milan, well done. You got a plus 20 and a plus 4 on the NQ. Okay, good. So that's the reversal bar. As now, some of you looking at the strength of the buyers, there's the tag of the 76. Some of you are going to say, Lockie, the buyers are stronger than they were on the previous candle. So I'm going to put my long range stop loss behind this candle. Right? Behind this candle. Now, everybody promises me that you've got a first target out on NASDAQ and your stop loss is worst case sitting behind the candle at minus 20. So you've got out at 20, you've got a stop loss at minus 20, you can't lose any money. Now, for the really experienced traders, all right, we're going to increase your Fibonacci even further. You're going to try and push the NASDAQ up to these 76s. Okay. For the super experienced traders, you're going to look for an agreement with Fibonacci extensions. Okay. And that has not worked at all. Let me try again. Please promise me, NASDAQ traders, you've locked in at least 10 ticks on your long-range targets, please. Okay, so lock in at least 10. I say that the S&P 500 is burning volume, right? Burning volume, and it's not impressing anybody. We are not running to those longer range fibs, guys, so I'm going to bring you down to the shorter range fibs, give you some structure. All right, that's what they're doing. Okay, that's what they're doing. So the shorter range fibs. Buyers are now, goes on the NASDAQ, buyers are now burning volume and not going anywhere. So please lock in profit. If you did go long for 20 and 40, guys, which is what we spoke about earlier, it's gone 20, let me just double check, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It's gone 60 ticks to the high side. So if you did go long, guys, for 20 and 40 or 20 and 50, you've obviously, you're out with all your targets. Louis, spot on the mark, mate. You're absolutely spot on the mark. He's spot on the mark. All right, so everybody on the NASDAQ, even the long range traders, all right, you guys are still long. You're holding long. FDAX, I've got nothing for you. NASDAQ, you guys are holding long, and what you're ultimately going to be doing is trying to trade to a dominant candle extension. That takes you up to the stratosphere. Okay. So at this stage, guys, at this stage for the NASDAQ traders, I don't think you're going to make the extension. I think that's way too optimistic. So we're going to have, guys, we'll focus on the opposite of the extension, which is the retracement. If we push into this retracement, guys, this 76 retracement a number of times, and we can't push the market up, right? The NASDAQ buyers are slowly but surely locking in more profit, please. So you could quite happily at this stage, guys, sit your profit, guys, around about 10 ticks behind the tail of the current candle. So your stop loss would be sitting at 440 even. That means you've locked in 20 ticks on your long range runner. If we break these 76s, guys, and we start running, then we'll go for the bigger 76s. They were actually hiding up here. Okay, so now, so what it means, guys, we're going to end up with a myriad of different results on this one. And that's okay. That's okay. Some people use short range targets, others use long range. Just promise me, guys, you've locked in profit, can't lose any money. Risk to reward ratio is ideally 40 times in your favor at this point in time. Taught by the best, Louis. I hope that's me. Right? If it's not, I'll put you in the naughty corner. I have a sneaking suspicion you might be referring to the trading team, which would be amazing. Amazing. Yeah, thank you, Rob. Lots of love. So, Rob, you used to be a Forex trader. You don't trade Forex anymore. I wonder why. I wonder why. Okay, now for the Nasdaq traders, guys, I'm going to put a circle on for your fee cat. So at this stage, you guys have only got 3 trades that we've spoken about. Right, you've only got 3 trades that we've spoken about. Just from I can hear my wife clicking her mouse. You're definitely in sin. Okay, right. So once again, guys, a reminder: I'm not being rude. I'm not being a male chauvinist controlling man. Guys, what I want to do is make sure that everyone in the world understands the power of stopping once you're 2 to 3 to 400 US dollars into profit. Guys, that's a lot of money in the scheme of things. You can get 3 to 400 US dollars per day in 4 to 5 months, 6 months time. It's going to be 4,000 US dollars per day. So you guys are going to be really, really happy with, click, bang, click, bang, click, bang, get the job done. Sounds very military, right? But get the job done, come back tomorrow, do it again, come back the next day, just keep revolving, guys, keep revolving. That's ultimately what we're after. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Mr. Lucky. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. For those that don't know, guys, when I first started presenting in Vietnam, I actually did a speaking tour with the Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort. When the actual dude, he was actually really funny guy, very dry sense of humor, loves whiskey, like just wow. But when I did a speaking tour with him, guys, in Vietnam, I arrived in Hanoi and they couldn't say Lockie. They couldn't say off for Lockie. So they called me Mr. Lucky. And it just stuck. so suffice to say, guys, if you ever get to sit down with Jordan Belfort, he loves a whiskey and he loves Ducati motorbikes. Right? He loves Ducati motorbikes. One of the reasons he got in trouble. Yes. So, guys, so whiskey in moderation, please. Whiskey in moderation. Suffice to say, he's actually a really nice guy. He's a really nice guy. Now, that being said, for those that know the Hanoi story, you'll know about the Ducatis and the whiskey. Suffice to say, Hanoi was amazing, absolutely amazing. So was Ho Chi Minh. So I ended up going back there 3 or 4 years in a row. This is before COVID. I haven't been back after COVID. COVID was an interesting time globally, wasn't it? Mind you, COVID didn't stop us from day trading. It did cause a lot of people employment problems, but for the day traders, we literally just hid away in our houses. We literally hid away in our houses and just did what we do. All right, Nazi traders, I do know, sorry, guys, I've still got people long on these trades. It is highly likely the NASDAQ is going to push up to these 76s. So if you are long, guys, if you are long on the reversal bar, okay, just to quantify, you're already 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Your target, guys, I mean, it's an awesome target, is around 90 ticks or 450 US dollars per contract. Again, guys, if you're targeting that, I want your target sitting at 457.50, 457.50. FDAX, you've got no new trades. For the FDAX, the buyers are losing control of the FESX, so we're not going to join the FDAX. We actually don't have a valid signal on the FDAX anyway, so we're just not going to do anything. I wouldn't be surprised, guys and girls. I wouldn't be surprised. Again, look at this. Okay, so we have an S&P. So your target, guys, on NASDAQ is pretty safe at 457.50. I would suggest for the S&P traders that the S&P is going to push up to the R1 and set an R1 base reversal on the turn of the hour. Now, if we do get that trade, it's going to be really impressive. For the NASDAQ traders, guys, what you're looking for those that are still long, you're looking for 3 or 4 buying pushes on this candle. We've had 1 buying push now. Okay, so we didn't get a second buying push at all. So promise me, guys, promise me on NASDAQ, you've locked in a truckload of profit, okay? Because if these guys decide to reverse, Europe is now reversing. We can see that. Now, how did I pick that up, guys and girls? The buyers have lost control of the FESX. Okay, so everyone is now going to turn and go back the other way. So Nazi traders, promise me you've locked in big chunks of profit, please. Which I believe you have. I believe you have at this point in time. Okay, now that trade, guys, just for the record, that's gone 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. It's gone 80 ticks to the high side, guys. If you use your trailing stop behind the green candle, guys, your trailing stop is now sitting at 10, 20, 30 ticks, guys. 30 ticks of profit locked in. They can't take it away from you. If we do get another little buying push, guys, coming through on this candle, okay, I would now be starting to move my trailing stop up behind these buying surges. So you try and lock in as much as you can on your long range target. Guys, now speaking about risk to reward, super important. At this point in time, guys, if you've gone for a 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 tick target, absolutely brilliant. Your stop loss, guys, when we said control the risk, if your stop loss was sitting at -1 and you're going for a 50 tick target, your risk to reward is 50 times in your favor. And we engineered that while we were in the trade. Right, so this thing about 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, as dynamic traders as we are, be it pure price movement traders or indicator-based traders, it's a really dangerous, guys, really dangerous game to put a static solution over a dynamic market, because generally speaking, that doesn't work most of the time. Okay, now some of you also, I know Remy went short, guys, when we were getting ready for the LTR. Remy went short off what was the 61.8. Remy, just confirm for me that that's where you went short when we were talking about, we had the 61.8 fib there and we said, guys, if you're going to go short now. Yes, that one. And some of you guys also went short under this candle here when I said it's a very, very strong reversal bar. If you want to go short, go nuts. Okay. I think we're turning, guys. Oh, look at the FDAX turning perfectly to the downside. So for the FDAX traders, this is the big short I was talking about. All right, this is the big short I was talking about. I think they're getting ready to turn on the hour. For the FDAX traders, if we get a 4-point turning bar here, which we can't, okay, we can't get a 4-point turning bar. If we close now like that in 37 seconds from now, you guys are eyeing off, in particular, that static bar reversal there. Okay, it's an absolutely incredible signal. So again, guys, for the FDAX traders, you would need this candle to close like it currently is. You would want the buyers to show. You want the buyers to show on the next candle. Okay, you've got basically a target entry point, guys, at 47. Now, that's if you can hold the risk. Guys, you're looking for a target entry of 47. Okay, now, mind you, they've got to close under the R1. They can't gap onto that. Okay, perfect. So for the FDAX traders, guys, you're also picking up the potential of an R1 reversal. So if these buyers push up above the R1, if they push up above the R1, guys, you'd be looking for a 54 entry short, a 54 entry short. As your backup trade is the static bar reversal here. Okay, so again, I want you to carry the smallest amount of risk possible. If the buyers do push up here and get caught above the R1, then a short under the R1 looks brilliant. We are in the last 15 minutes. So guys, for the FDAX traders, the only thing you're allowed to take is a pivot-based reversal or a reversal that was generated by a pivot, which is this static bar reversal. Now, again, you're watching for the buyers to show, and you're watching for them to get slammed. Okay, it's all about the slamming. Now, NASDAQ traders, if you are running a delta indicator on your chart and you get a delta on this candle and you trade in the last 15 minutes, you're allowed to go short. FDAX traders, if you've gone short under the R1, guys, at 54, your first target is 49 and you've already gone through your first target. If you're short on the SPR, guys, at 47, your target and risk control point is 42. All right, I would suggest that that is going to get hammered. Okay, now the flip side, I need the sellers to sell down, which they're doing on very low volume. So if on the FDAX, guys, you're short under the R1, your trade is looking really good. If you're on the lower SBR, your trade's looking good. If you're on the higher SBRs, your trade is looking good. All right. So that's the first selling surge. Guys, I need another selling surge on FDAX. Guys, I need them to break this line. Guys, and they will basically collapse. All right. So go on, sweet pea, go, 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 go. So FDAX traders, worst case scenario, your risk control point and first target is 42 if you've traded the SBR. Okay, double checking. SBR entry is 47, target is 42. They're going to 4 points. It's going to 4 points into that trade. Give them one more chance to sell down. There's one more chance to sell down. If they don't break the black line, guys, then you could bring your 5-point target to 4 points. Mind you, if you've gone short, guys, under that SBR, that SBR, that SBR, or the R1, you're already well over target. Okay, so give them one more push down. One more push. Come on, sweet pea. Okay, that's not a push. That's not a push. Off you go. Oh, no. Push, push, push. What's the sellers doing? Sellers are still really strong, guys, but I only ever give them 3 pushes on the FDAX, and we are in the last 15 minutes. All right, so if you're off the R1, guys, you're safe. If you're off the higher SBRs, you're safe. If you're off the lower SBR, you've gone 4 points towards a 5-point target. We're going to give them one more seller push down. There's one more seller push down, and then we will basically neutralize the risk on the trade. No deltas, guys. So no deltas at this stage on NASDAQ. We are in the last 15 minutes. So those people that don't trade in the last 15 minutes, as I said before, don't let me romance you into taking a trade. Okay, it's just tinkering along, doing what they want to do. For the DAXI traders that went short under the R1, right? If we have DAXI traders that went short under the R1, okay, guys, again, we're not going short again now because we've already gone short, guys. We've gone through the risk control point, through the profit target. For the FDAX traders, it means that there's no new trades, guys, no new trades for the next 10 or so minutes. Okay, no new trades at all. For the NASDAQ traders, again, there's no new trades, guys. There's no new trades. It would be amazing if the S&P 500 creates a 4-point turning bar here. Okay, absolutely amazing if it does. Andy, well done, well done. Louis, we are the last 15 minutes, so absolutely no new trades, no new trades. So NASDAQ, at this stage, you guys are looking pretty good. FDAX, you're looking pretty good. The flip side of that. Let's just see what the last 15 minutes do. And what's my 15-minute chart doing? Okay. The 15-minute chart, guys, the 15-minute chart FDAX trade. So sorry, the 15-minute chart FDAX. The 15-minute chart from the FDAX has actually set up a stunning reversal short. All right. So we might find, guys, the buyers push in a little bit on the FDAX. If they turn around and get caught on that R1 again, guys, then we're going to sell back down to the 50 of the day in the pre-top. Okay, now what we're wrestling with is down here, bottom right-hand corner, guys, the FESX is currently basically determining, do I close above the pre-top, hold above the pre-top? I don't think they're going to. Guys, the enemy of the sellers at this point in time. You see the MDI moving through the chart here. The enemy will be the MDI. So every time they sell down, they're going to tag the MDI and bounce. If we close a solid candle, guys, into the MDI, then the FESX will sell down to the 55th of the day. It'll drag the FDAX with it. Guys, it'll take the NASDAQ back down to the R1, and it'll take at least the S&P 500, guys, down to yesterday's high. If we drop through those key market levels right in time for the next hour, guys, we're going to find the next hour is going to be all about selling. Okay, literally all about selling. And again, guys, if you're cruising like FDAX traders, you may have had 2 or 3 bites of the cherry already. So again, if you're at your daily goal, please don't keep trading. Guys, I'll start getting Fibonacci ready for the turn of the hour. Guys, now let me just watch what these guys are doing. S&P is asleep. literally asleep, waiting for Europe to decide, guys, is it going to close over the pre-top or is it going to close back under yesterday's high? Right. So the next 8 minutes, it's going to be really, really important because the institutional traders are going to start positioning, guys, on the larger charts. I would suggest the larger chart traders. Let's have a quick look. So the buyers have lost control of the NASDAQ 60-minute chart. We've lost control of the S&P 60-minute chart. The buyers have lost control, guys, of the FDAX 60-minute chart. I think we're going to turn and fall. It's basically, well, let's have a look at the FESX. Guys, that will be the ultimate for this trading session. Okay, hold on one sec. Let me load a larger chart. Okay. So guys, I wrote all the chart templates today for 2025. Yeah, no, we've got climactic volume here as well. Guys, so the buyers have lost control of all of the major markets. Now, interesting point, that loss of control, we may not see the sellers spank the buyers for the next 10 to 15 minutes. You will see a residual sort of buying, like, for example, there'll be people around the world that are trying to swing trade off the top of the R1. I definitely would not recommend that. That's not a very, very smart strategy because I don't think the institutional traders are going to support it, particularly in the last sort of 10 to 15 minutes. So for the Nazi traders, guys, your buyers own the stair step. So you're looking for selling-based reversals. Again, we're not trading, guys, particularly for the next 6.5 minutes because we're right into the danger zone where everybody makes a mistake and gives their money back. Yep, for those guys, for those that don't normally trade with us, the last 5 minutes of the hour is a very, very dangerous time. And it's not because the strategy doesn't work or the indicators don't work. It's simply because you'll get institutional positioning coming in on the 60-minute chart, in particular, the 60-minute chart. At the moment, I'd suggest, as most of the institutional traders, based on Fibonacci, are actually looking to go short. All right, so these people that are mucking around on the FDAX at the moment, I'm not buying the buy on the FDAX. I'm thinking we may be setting up a short. All right, let me just go and grab that one. I just changed the template down here. Okay. Not only do I think we're going to go short, but I think we're actually going to move down to the respective MDIs. Right. So the FESX has actually got, guys, a fair bit of work to do to get down here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we sell. Dominant candle extension, Louis, awesome. Okay, so 4-hour dominant candle extension. Guys, if there's any questions from anybody that is not normally in this session with us, guys, with this, what we call ourselves the samurai team, if you're not normally with us, please ask questions. Please ask questions. Dominant candle extension. And I would completely agree. Let me strip some fibs off here. Petros, mate, well done, mate. So you are still beautifully profitable, mate. You promised me that you've stopped trading because you've made a really large amount of money. How do you know if the SBR is long or short? Great, Mark. The SBR is always traded against the stair step of the market, mate. So at the moment, we've got a short. Okay, so at the moment we've got a short setting up for the NASDAQ traders because the buyers own the stair step. All right, so the stair step, as the stair stepping, without being rude, the stair stepping, guys, is the #1 indicator in the world. It's probably the most misunderstood indicator in the world, but it's also the most powerful indicator in the world. Full stop. The stair step of the market is, as we say, step is king. Step is king. Price is queen. Guys, if anybody says they're a pure price movement trader, then that's brilliant. But you must be able to read the stair step. Otherwise, you're going to be trading your pure price movement on the wrong side of the market. Trading live room still live? No, Ricardo, absolutely not. So, mate, no, great question. Great question. Number of reasons, mate. Number of reasons for that. Suffice to say, no, it's not. So it's 100%. I'm now 100% samurai. Many reasons for that, mate. More than happy to chat to you offline about that. But the Samurai team, mate, are phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Let me just run this down to here. Okay. I've got us. I've got us at a risk control point for the longs. Let me do a wraparound fib. Aha, Louis, I've got you there. Okay, Ricardo. So, mate, Ricardo, if you want, mate, send an email to Samurai, just info@Samurai Day Trading. So info@Samurai Day Trading, and they will get you sorted out very quick. I mean, very easy to get you sorted out. Not an issue at all. Or you can reach out to TTP, Ricardo. Trading Pit has been absolutely amazing. They're lovely. They're absolutely lovely. So long story short, if you forget info@Samurai, so info@SamuraiDayTrading.com. If you forget that, I'll just go to the Samurai Day Trading website. But if you forget all that, just reach out to TTP. They're amazing. Mate, look, Ricardo, I'm doing my best. Mate, I'm doing my best. And I say that I'm doing my best because obviously there's a lot of stuff going on, but I have been doing it for a little bit of time. So, you know, sometimes people say, Lockie, you move too fast, you move this, you move that. The idea, mate, the idea with these sessions is we pick up 8 to 10 winning trades in a row in this session in 90 minutes. It means that every single NASDAQ trader can make $100 US. Basically, I want every baby trader, so every baby trader to make at least $100 US. Now, if I can get you to $100 US per day, in 6 months' time, we should be able to get you to $1,000 US per day. You'll work out your favorite signal. You'll work out what you love doing. You'll work out not to trade in the last 15 minutes. You'll work out that pivots are amazing. You'll work out that the signal set works really well. Ultimately, we are pure price movement traders enhanced by indicators. Now, because we are futures traders, no one can muck around with the data feed that we see. And as a result of that, we can actually make really smart decisions about real market data as opposed to fake market data, which is what makes us very different to other traders around the world. And a number of Forex traders have joined us because they realized that their data feeds were being played with, whereas our data feed can't be played with. Yeah, so mate, look, I'm doing my best. The US closed live trading room is as good. I think this morning they picked up something like 16 trades. So this session is really slow compared to the US close. The US close is much faster. And really excited. The moderator, guys, that's running that is a really quite talented moderator. There's no doubt about that. So, guys, we're running into the close. So this is where everybody tends to make their mistakes. So just be very careful. Well, guys, we're not going to trade. So we're not going to trade the new candle in the new hour until we see basically who's losing control of the market. Okay, so let's watch very closely. I just see the market twitching. All right, see the market twitching. S&P 500 traders, I know you've been waiting a long time, but you may have a really lovely R1 reversal here. Okay, you may pick up an R1 reversal. NASDAQ traders, buyers own the stair step. There's no question about that. So you guys, as soon as you start burning volume, guys, which is now already on the opening candle of the new hour, as you may be looking, guys, depending on how you trade, for a short. Let's just let these buyers show themselves. FTAX, we've got nothing at this stage. I'd love to see 3 or 4 buying pushes, guys. 3 or 4 buying pushes, and then so that's the third. So again, your sell signal would be sitting just under the 76s here. Okay, now don't let me romance you into taking a trade you don't normally take, please. All right, I love these buyers moving away. This is very good. Yeah, Tim, awesome session. Mate, I might track you down after this if I can. If that's okay, mate, if you've got time. I know it's been a big day. 90% fib, guys, 90% fib traders. You guys are gearing up now. Okay, woof, look at the rejection off the 90%. Holy moly. Okay. Now, if you are a 90% fib trader, guys, note that the candles turn mustard green. It means the buyers are using too much fuel. They're using too much fuel. This could be because the S&P 500 is trying to push towards its R1. Okay, it could be because of that. We want those buyers, guys, on the S&P, which they're doing beautifully. They've just got mustard. They're burning their volume as well. If I was to go short, guys, under the 76s, all right, if I go short under the 76s, I'm carrying 10, 20, 30, 40, almost 50 ticks of risk. Guys, now that does mean I'm going to have to control my risk quickly and go for large targets. Okay, now I need to know where the counter 50 fib is. All right, the counter 50 fib is well below the entry point. Okay, now, if you trade, guys, off the 76 fib, okay, you may have an order on where I've got mine on. Now, you must be able to hold the risk behind the candle, guys, and you must promise me you've got tight ATMs on, okay, tight risk control points. Okay, now, if you are going to take the trade, guys and girls, if you are going to take the trade, okay, I'm going to bring my interim target through. If you are going to take the trade, guys, we're looking for a very, very fast move down by the sellers. The 90% fib, guys, is clearly the better fill for those people with a little bit more experience. Guys, I'm just trying to show everybody how to enter this trade responsibly. Now that's the third push, guys. That's the third push by the buyers. So again, if the sellers are going to address the buyers, they're going to do it relatively soon. If you're not in this trade already, we're approaching the last 90 seconds, which means you don't want to be, guys, you don't want to be entering the trade in the last 90 seconds under any circumstances. FDAX, you've got nothing. FDAX, you've got nothing. The NASDAQ, guys, the 50 fib of the counter trend, the 50 fib of the counter trend is where everyone must control their risk, even if you're going for long range targets. Okay, now at this stage, the buyers are blowing a huge amount of volume. As the 90% extension, the 90% retracement was by far the better entry point. Okay, up here, because it's already triggered all of our risk control. Okay, very heavy hit by the sellers coming in towards the end of the candle. I dare you guys to push this down to my ATM, please. Okay, so guys, this is going to probably go through to the end of the candle. Okay, so what I'm going to do is here, don't you come back up here towards the end of the candle. So as the moment we head down to my first target there, which is 455. So the moment we get to 455, I'm going to bring my stop loss down. Now, if we do get a selling flurry, right, there we go. ATM's already controlled, guys. So again, I'm going to bring my stop loss down to positive. Can't lose any money on the trade. I've got long range targets on this one and short range targets. Guys, I can't lose any money on the trade. You little so-and-so. Okay. It's gone far enough, guys and girls, to trigger my short and moderate range risk control. It's triggered my long term as well. Right. That's how I want you to enter a trade, guys. Now, some of you may still be short, and that's okay because your ATMs are different to mine. If you are short, guys, I promise you when we get to that black line, there are going to be buyers sitting there waiting to ambush us. Right. Now, for those that trade a double failure reversal short, okay, yeah, mate, I got 10 and a series of 2s. Okay, but again, I let the market breathe. I controlled my risk quickly. I made a little bit of money. The market's not ready to run yet, which is okay because if they don't want to run down, they might actually try and run up. And naturally, we don't want that to occur. So at the moment, guys, we'd be hunting for a double failure reversal off the 76s. Okay, we've got a gap up on the NASDAQ. You've got a gap up on the S&P. Gapping the S&P 500 up into the R1 is ridiculously stupid. Okay, so that's silly. So the sellers are going to come back in again. So promise me, guys and girls, if you're short at the same price level again of 47.50, okay, your first target is going to be sitting here at 55. First target's 55. Second target's 42.50. Third target, guys, 100 ticks to the downside kind of stuff. Okay, so again, my ATM, guys, will trigger. Here we go. Boom. So if you're short, guys, for 10, you're out. If you're short for 20, you're out. Okay, you've controlled your risk on your long range runners, guys. And for the intermediate traders, you can hold to these 76s. This, guys, it's the hour turn. It's the hour turn candles. So please, 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 please try and get as much profit as you possibly can, but be really aware that we're trading back into that 50 fib. Okay, be really aware we're trading into the 50. If we break the 50, we're going for the 76s. If we break the 76s, guys, it's the hourly turn. S&P 500 traders, you've finally picked up a double failure reversal at the R1. Okay, now, flip side of that, NASDAQ, you know where to hold this trade to, guys. All right, so these 76s are going to put you up the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 tick mark. Guys, 60 tick mark if you're a little bit more advanced. S&P 500, if you're short 2 ticks under the R1 as a double failure reversal, guys, you're short at 5900.75, and you're going to try and hold that down to yesterday's high. Can't get any access. Ricky, yeah, Ricky. So best thing to do, Ricky, I'll actually send you a message, mate. But best thing to do is send an email. Let's send an email to info@samuraidaytrading.com. Now, guys, I'm trying to send that to you, mate. So Rick, info@samuraidaytrading.com, mate, and the boys at Samurai, boys and girls at Samurai will sort you out very quickly. Terry, you got 21 and 61. I was going to say, mate, your KPI is well and truly smashed. So well done. Okay, so NASDAQ traders, if you've taken the opening of the new hour and you've gone short, it's gone well. If you've waited for the double failure reversal, guys, you look for the buyers to push up and then you went short, guys, at 457.50. That trade has gone at least 60 ticks in your favor. Okay, at least 60 ticks in your favor. What does that ultimately mean? Guys, you're in a really, really good spot. Kyle, well done, mate. That's brilliant. Rob, mate, I'm doing my best. There's obviously a lot going on, mate, but I'm doing my best. And again, guys, I say this all the time, but thank you to TTP for their support. There's some really exciting stuff, guys, that's just around the corner. For me, what's really exciting, guys, you're watching the Samurai, the actual Samurai 2025 indicators, and they are so fast. They are so fast. Guys, by next week, when we're running the session for TTP, guys, we'll be running both the Delta V1, V2, and we could even be running a V3 Delta. So cross fingers, guys, cross fingers. And guys, that's going to set us apart. That just the V1, V2, V3 will set us apart from everyone else globally. And I think that's really funny. That's really funny. Remy, you went short 50 ticks times 5 contracts on it's a huge trade. So guys, note there's a really good little lesson here. So note where we've shorted off what we refer to as the evil twins, and we've traded them to the evil twins. Now, if you're not a fan of Fibonacci, some traders have just picked up a $1,250 trade because they're a fan of Fibonacci. Rob, you're in a perfect world, mate. On the perfect world, in a perfect world, mate, the 1st of November is looking very, very good for you guys that are into indicators. I'll just put it out there to the world. The 1st of November is looking really exciting. And we rock and roll from there. Rock and roll. Now, mind you, there's nothing wrong with what you're currently using. But I do think we can, little faster, slightly different algorithm, quite sexy, quite sexy. I think if you're making money off it, guys, doesn't matter what you call it. If you're making money off it, doesn't matter what it's called, which is brilliant. Yeah, it'll take a bit of time, Rob. I'm working on the indicator training library for everybody at the moment that talks you through, guys, how to use the indicators, particularly the angle indicator and the relative efficiency indicator. So it'll actually show you how strong the buyers or sellers are in the market. So if you start getting delta trades when the sellers are really strong, you can just keep scaling into the market and run it down. So that should actually be really, really good fun. Now, we're 10 minutes into the second hour. For those people that are not used to what we normally do, the European market, again, if the European market loses direction, all right, let me just move that away for you for the moment. If the European market loses direction, then everybody else tends to lose direction. All right, so now interesting point. Guys, I did say before, if you're a swing trader trading off the R1, it's not going to be supported by the institutional traders. Well, it's not supported. These guys have cruised up, failed at the 133 fib extension, which is where the FDAX normally fails. And now they're selling back down to the R1 again. So for the FDAX traders, for a really lovely short, we need to get under the R1, okay, because we want a pivot-based reversal. You guys have had a really good run so far. Now, static bar reversal traders, when was that? Okay, last 15 minutes. Okay, we spoke about that before. Let me just have a look at what these guys are doing. Okay, I'm just watching. I think, guys, the next trade, just the time. The next trade on the FDAX is likely to be short, right? It's likely to be a sell. Let's just wait and see what they do. Let me just have a look. Their 30-minute chart. So the buyers have lost control of the 30-minute chart on the FDAX, guys. On the S&P and NASDAQ, the buyers haven't lost control on the bigger charts yet. Okay, it looks like they're slowly but surely losing control. Now for the NASDAQ traders, again, guys, we're not going to take another reversal off the 76s unless we get a higher high. All right, so we can start to clean the charts up now. We start to clean the charts up. Do I have anybody, guys, that's short on the NASDAQ off the 76s looking for much larger targets than what we're talking about? Okay, now, again, if you've gone short off the 76s, guys, I'll put my ATM on to show you where I want you to enter. If you waited for the candle to close, guys, which is a great little lesson, if you waited for this candle to close, which is a static failure at the 76s, and then went short, you've got a much better result. It's got a much better result. So the static traders may be winning on this one. It never got a higher high for me. Oh, that's right, Cole. Ahmed, you are correct. Mate, I got your message, Ahmed, so I'll jump on that. Dave, you went short off the 90. That's a really brilliant trade, Dave. So how did you end up going with that, Dave? Did you end up getting a bigger target? Because that's the 90 is the piece de resistance, man. That is absolutely brilliant. Are you still in the short? Okay, great. So if you're still in the short, what we want is the Europeans to close under their respective R1s. Okay, under their respective R1s. We would love a tiny little candle to close here, man, a tiny little candle, because it will actually act as a static bar reversal short. So it'll actually act as an SPR. Again, for the SPR traders, we don't have a higher high to take a brand new short. But this says to me, guys, the buyers have lost their mojo completely. Okay, now there's only one reason the buyers lose their mojo if the sellers have gained it. So these guys don't sit on the fence. There's no question about that. Not fully understood. Do you expect NQ to go down again? I do, Jürgen. I do expect it to go down. Now, the interesting thing about it, Jürgen, is that the Europeans, right? The Europeans are stuck on the top of their trend indicator. All right, so what's actually occurring? So both European markets are stuck, right, at the top of the indicator. So what it ultimately means is that the US traders are looking at the European traders going, well, hang on a second, if you guys are stuck, then we're stuck as well, right? So everybody on the NQ is watching these guys over here on the right-hand side of the screen. Now, what it does mean is if you've gone short where I was talking about going short, okay, it's already gone 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, almost 80 ticks into profit, which means if you're using, guys, a 20 tick target and a 40 tick target, like we were talking about earlier in the session, 20, 40 or 20, 50, it's clearly gone quite well for you. There's no question. Right now, I would be making sure that if, like Dave T is short off these 90% at the top here, as if I was short off those 90%ers, I would have locked in a big chunk of profit now, because if the S&P 500 decides to close over its R1, the Nasdaq's going to see that as a positive. If the S&P closes under its R1, the Nasdaq will see it as a negative. So what we've got, mate, Jürgen, is we've got the Europeans trying to push the Americans to buy, okay? And we've got the Americans saying, we're sick of buying, we want to sell. So now we've got what we refer to in the European Open as charts in conflict, where Europe wants to do something, America wants to do the other thing. So that's why typically the best trading in the European Open is in the first 35 to 40 minutes of the hour. That's definitely the case. If we get a turn on the hour, like I spoke to before, I say, righto, guys, this is the hourly turn. If we get that, it's normally good for probably 20 and 50 or 20 and 60, which has obviously gone 80. And again, now we're looking for effectively new sell signals. Now, mind you, a new sell signal on the Nasdaq, guys, if the S&P closes over the R1, we won't be selling the Nasdaq, we'll be buying it. Dragon's profit, and it looks like it's going further, scaling in on the trade. What does that mean? Mark, great question. So, mate, again, probably tomorrow or early next week, I'll be running a delta. Akito's running the delta, actually. Let me just have a look. Okay, let me show you something. So you know how I said, okay, guys, we're going to buy over the top of this candle here. It's an incredible reversal bar, and it went absolutely brilliant. Okay. What then occurred is Akito's got a test indicator running. She's got, all right, around about 5 buying deltas that are sitting here on this candle. So there's 5 or 6 of them. Okay, so what it means is the moment this candle starts to move to profit, if your stop loss on your first reversal trade has gone to break even so you can't lose any money, you can scale in again. And if it keeps pushing and producing delta, you scale in again, and then you scale in again. So you keep actually buying into the market as the buyers move the market up. Now, we use the delta to do that. All right, we use the delta to do that. So what I can do, mate, is I can actually run for you a masterclass on how to scale into trend. Now, typically, Mark, what occurs is you'd get into the market with your normal ATM, like your 20 and 50 tick ATM. And then you can actually get in if you want with the same ATM, or you get in with a scale in ATM. So if, for example, on the NASDAQ, you might scale in, for plus 10, plus 10, plus 10, plus 10. So while you're in your original trade and it's going really well, you would then be saying, right, well, I'm going to pinch another 10 off this, another 10, another 10, another. You just keep scaling in as the market moves. It does take a little bit of training. This higher high, guys, is definitely going to be drawing sellers' attentions around the world. Okay, now we are in the last 90 seconds of the candle. So what that means, guys and girls, for the NASDAQ traders who are looking for another trade, okay, you're waiting to see if the S&P 500 closes under its R1. Okay, now that's for those of you that are really, really careful. We'd want the S&P 500 to close under its R1. We don't want it to jump onto the R1. All right, perfect. It's closed under and gapped under. Okay, so we have got nothing on FDAX, guys. Your volume is now dropping to the point at which we'll probably leave you alone for the rest of the day. We'll probably leave you alone. Not sure you can do funded account. Not sure you can do that on a funded account. Great question, guys. On a funded account, you're not allowed to scale into a losing trade, right? But you are allowed to scale into a winning trade. So, Remy, it's a great point you raised. So you might have heard of an expression called DCA, guys. Jimmy, I wouldn't be surprised. So, guys, you might be able to change that. You might have heard of DCA or dollar cost averaging. Okay, now just so you know, my humble opinion, DCA doesn't work at all. It's a fancy name, but it doesn't work. Dollar cost averaging means I'm losing money on this trade, so I'm going to get in again, and then I'm losing even more money. I'm going to get in just in case the market turns and goes back the other way. Now, if you're in a trade and you start losing money quickly, that means you're on the wrong side of the market. It doesn't mean you keep getting in hoping it turns around. Yeah, that is not what we do, guys. That's not professional trading. That's gambling, guys. That's gambling. So, guys, again, I'm a funded trader, and I've scaled into winning trades with no trouble at all. I've never scaled into a losing trade because I'm not a fan of dollar cost averaging. Okay, now like at all. I just don't think it's very smart. But I'm also not a fan of Forex, and that offends some people, but I also don't think Forex is very smart. So that's the way it goes. For the Nazi traders, guys, for the Nazi traders, may I suggest the S&P is looking very strong. Should have passed the open. G'day, Toby. How are you? I'm close to passing the 25K Apex. Well done on your how to get funded video. You said that once you get to a certain account size, that is when you can start withdrawing money. Okay. So what I do, mate, regardless of where you're funded, I would make sure that so once you're funded, so let's say you get funded and you've got a drawdown of $3,500. When your trailing stops moves up to break even, the mistake that a lot of people make is they get funded, they make $3,000 or $5,000 worth of profit, and they pull out $3,000 and they put themselves too close to the trailing stop. So if I was funded at the 25,000 mark, what I would do is trade that account up to at least 30,000 before then I take out maybe 1,000 and then push it back up a little bit and then take out a little bit. Don't trade it from 25 grand to 30 grand, then take out 5 grand. Otherwise, you'll blow yourself up. Okay, now, mate, I'm actually working at the 250 grand level. So my trailing stop is 6,500. So I've said to Akito, I'll grow the $250,000 account to 275,000. And then I'm only going to take out maybe $1,000 or $2,000. Then I'll grow it up to 300 grand. That's when I'm going to take out a bigger chunk of money. So I want to get as far away from the trailing stop as possible, because that means I can trade safely. That's why I would suggest you do that. Perfect, Toby. Yeah, mate, I hope that helps. Now, guys, we are 23 minutes into the second hour. Volume on the FDAX is now dropped below the tradable threshold, guys. So that's awesome, because we've already got rules in place to say be very, very careful on that one. Louis, when do TTP want to move to a live account? Great question, mate. I'll bring that up with TTP. I'll ask that question if Alan's going to be back in any second. But guys, what I'm going to do, so what we're going to do over the next couple of weeks, again, obviously the Samurai indicators are going to be out. Target date, guys, target date, they're in their last phase of testing. So the target date is the 1st. So that should be quite good fun. They're absolutely flying, guys. Give me an idea of how fast they are. If you see me wiggling my mouse, there's no latency at all, which is brilliant. Guys, I've got Tim working on your indicators also for trade. What's the other? Louis, what platform? The TTP platform. Quantower. Quantower. That's so we're working, guys. We're working on a base. Yeah, thank you, Louis. We're working on a base set of indicators, guys, for Quantower as well, because there's some people out there in the world that are Quantower traders. We might as well, guys, be able to offer you Quantower and Ninja. Petros, mate, I've actually mentioned that to TTP. So again, I'd expect a result on that really, really soon, and I'll have a chat to them for you. Mate, we can see Delta V3 running in your chart. Yeah, it'll be coming soon, mate. It'll be coming soon. So, guys, we've got 5 minutes. We've got 5 minutes until the session finishes. At this stage, we can't go long on the NASDAQ. That's because that is not a CORPC bar. We can't go long on the FDAX. I'd suggest these guys are going to sell. As the only thing that's available for the NASDAQ traders, if you are an advanced trader, guys, you draw your Fibonacci down the micro trend and you would pick up the failure at the micro trend 76. You would have to make sure, guys and girls, if you have gone short, then you might want to make sure, guys and girls, if you can, that you've controlled your risk, because these 76s that we were reversing off before, okay, that was a resistance level in the market. It's now going to become support. All right. So if you have reversed off these tiny little 76s, guys, it's probably not going to go very far. Okay. So with that said, ladies and gents, I hope you've had a really good session. I hope you've learned a lot. We've had some really good trades. There's no doubt about that. We had to be very careful, guys, on the FDAX today because the FESX was in a 4-hour move. We knew about that. S&P 500, you guys have only picked up a really, really small number of trades, a small number of trades. The flip side is the NASDAQ. You guys have had by far the greatest number of trades. Yeah, so we've got well done to everybody, guys. Well done to everybody. I think it's important. All right, young Arlen, you are, I can see you on camera there, ready to rock and roll. I will say, guys, if I can, to TTP, guys, thank you for having us. Really exciting, guys, to have TTP doing what they're doing. And Arlen, I believe, looks like 4 to 5 trades on NASDAQ. They've all gone well. We've had 4 to 5 on FDAX. They've gone well, except the static bar reversal, which hit its risk control point. Mind you, the pivot-based reversal traders went to target. So therefore, I think we've had a good session. Anyway, over to you. I'll stop talking.
It's completely fine, guys. Good job for everyone who managed to participate and take some successful trades. Very, very happy to see that. And thank you everyone for joining us, whether it's here on Zoom, Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook for our stream. I have attached the link below, guys, if you do want to sign up, if you're not already part of the trading pit. You might want to check out the Prime Futures challenges, guys. You might want to have a look because we have a little bit of a surprise for you there. You might see something that wasn't there before, and you have been asking for it for quite some time. I'm not saying anything more than that, but if you go to purchase a new Prime Futures challenge, you will see something very, very exciting happening. So guys, I'm going to send again the link here in the chat on Zoom, and I will send again in the rest of our streaming platforms if anyone hasn't seen it yet. Enjoy, happy trading, and I'll see you again next week. Same time, same place. Thank you so much to Lachlan. We love your sessions, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you next week. And
Bye,
those
guys.
in the normal LTR, I'll see you tomorrow.